Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2003 Renault Sport Clio. Now this formerly had a V6 engine, but it now has a 6.5 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine producing 1005 horsepower and 859 pounds-feet of torque, and the car itself now weighs 2,779 pounds. Now has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, and it can do 0 to 60 in 2.737 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.072 seconds, and going to a top speed of 197 miles an hour. So yeah, we don't have all that many in the way of short wheelbase, lightweight cars with a engine in the middle. But it will be interesting to see what this car can do, because it's got plenty of power and not much in the way of weight. So let's see what it can do. So yeah, there's not very many cars out there on this game that are like this. Obviously we also have the Renault 5 Turbo, which is also not only a Renault obviously, but also a car in stock form that had rear wheel drive and a mid-engined layout. But outside of that, there's really not all that many others that I can think of that are on this game that are, of that kind of layout. Might be another one that is all-wheel drive, but in terms of rear-wheel drive, mid-engine, short wheelbase, lightweight cars, certainly not all that many like this. But I am glad that this Sport Clio has finally made its way back into a Forza game after a long while away. Fortunately, it's not fully viewable in Forza Vista, so sadly won't be able to do a review on it, no matter how much I would want to, but I like to at least be able to see the engine, or at least see other parts of the vehicle if I'm going to be reviewing a car. But who knows, because now it's on in this game, maybe it'll be in Forza Motorsport 8 and finally get a full Forza Vista treatment. But for now, we're here and it's dealing with everything okay so far. One good thing about this car is that it was once obviously front wheel drive, but then it was converted to rear wheel drive, and now it's all wheel drive, so it's probably capable of dealing with the all wheel drive system far better than other rear wheel drive cars, because it's so lightweight and small and compact. It's able to handle not only the corners but also the off-road elements, while also having plenty of power to move its lacking in weight body around. A little bit of oversteer there, but we're going across the finish line there at 165 miles an hour, which is fairly quick, and we've got a fairly decent time of 2 minutes 6 seconds .220. So not quite as quick as the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera from the previous episode, but it is still comfortably within the top 40, which is again pretty good, especially considering it's beaten other cars that are more used to being off-road, like the Mercedes-Benz E350D, the Lancia Stratos HF Stradale, the Ford Escort RS 1600, Lancia Fulvia and the Ram 2500 Power Wagon, slightly behind the McLaren 720S Coupe, as well as the Renault Alpine A110 and the Mercedes-Benz X-Class. But yeah, fairly good. It did have some oversteer issues, so that's why we had the back end of this car hitting some walls every now and again. And yeah, it could obviously be a little bit more powerful and a little bit better in terms of acceleration and getting up to that kind of top speed at certain points, especially since the acceleration, though decent, is still far off the pace of other vehicles that we've had on this series. Mercury Cougar, Eliminator and the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera were far faster in terms of acceleration, but still overall rather decent, and it is nice to see a car like this on this game now. And yeah, I really did want to give it a chance on this series, and it's putting a good show in, even if not quite as quick as other vehicles. But more importantly, it is at least quicker than the Renault 5 Turbo, which I mentioned earlier, by nearly a second, which I guess is no surprise. There's a 23-year difference between the two of them, and yeah, this car was obviously able to deal with more power even stock than that Renault 5 Turbo was, so no surprise that this is quicker, but I would have liked it to have been faster. But yeah, top 40 place showing is still not bad whatsoever. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you with the next one. Bye.